Jetstream Aqua Massage, located in the Heritage Mall, is your answer for the relaxation you've been looking for. Our massage beds will help you with stress, anxiety, increase circulation, muscle tension, improve sleep, pain reduction, decrease muscle spasms, increase your range of motion, and help with the everyday aches and pains of life. And at only $1 per minute, we'll save you time and money. 20 minutes in one of our machines is equal to 1 hour of traditional massage. We have gift certificates available for the perfect stocking stuffers. All TENS units are on sale now, and don't forget your BioFreeze. Jetstream Aqua Massage. It's not just a massage, it's an experience.
You're listening to Driver Live from the Northwest Race Car Show, presented by Moxie Media Promotions and Jetstream Aqua Massage, live on Spreaker Radio. All right, it's time for another section of Driver Live. Our guest here at the Moxie booth is Mr. Curtis Towns. Curtis, welcome to Driver Live, man. I want to say thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
So, first of all, I want to say thanks for making the trip from, your part of the woods down in Cottage Grove up here to Albany at the Heritage Mall for the 2017 Race Car Show presented by Jetstream Aqua Massage and Moxie Media. What do you think about it so far? What's going on?
It's been pretty exciting, and a lot of people here. Thankful that Jetstream Aqua Massage invited me up to this. It's been a pretty cool deal. Been talking to a lot of people about cars and signing autographs for a lot of kids, so it's been a good time.
I've noticed you've been really busy here. I mean, your car is kind of near the epicenter of all the action, and got a lot of compliments on that ride so far. And I know a lot of kids have been around it, checking it out. And
it makes me feel pretty good about having a good-looking car. Appreciate all the compliments I've had on it today.
Very bright. Car stands out.
Very nice-looking car.
Very clean. It looks like it's going 100 miles an hour and it's sitting there. You know.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So. Very successful last few years at Cottage Grove. The last couple of years, track championships in a couple different divisions.
It's been going pretty good. I got won in the championship in the modifieds this last season, and the season before that was late models and modifieds. So that was a real fun year. I was driving a car for Paul Culp and ended up winning the championship in his late model and the modified at the same time, so that was a lot of fun. And then this previous year was only modifieds, and this next year I'll be running modifieds and a late model for Frank Brewer, so hopefully we can have some success doing both of those this next year.
But Frank's getting back in the game.
Yeah, I think he's been missing out. He's been in racing for so long. These last few years he's just been selling parts at the Cottage Grove Speedway, and I think he's missing out, so he's got a late model and asked if I'd drive it, so we'll see how we do.
So he goes out and hires the 5-time champ to get the job done. Are you
going to
run?
I can do just as good as I've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you going to run 16 or are you going to run 24?
It's going to be 24. We actually put a matching wrap that matches the modified on the late model also.
Very cool. Nice.
That's quite a task to run late models and modifieds and shoot for championships in both.
It's a lot of work. Maintaining
that keeps
one
you busy,
car.
Man. But I love the adrenaline.
Absolutely.
I've done that in karts, running 2 different classes.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely keeps me real busy. My arms are tired by the end of the night.
Yeah, no doubt.
No kidding. So it's not the first time you've done it. I mean, like you said, he won that a couple years ago, the late model championship, the modified championship. 2017 is going to be another one of those years where you're pulling double duty. Are you going to travel at all, or are you focusing on that Cottage Grove title?
I would like to travel some more, get up to Willamette a little more often, but with running this late model for Frank, we'll see how things go, and we plan on running Cottage Grove most of the time, so we'll see if I get any off weekends where I can travel to different tracks or not.
But basically you're running points in both series, correct?
Yeah, I probably will be. We'll see how the beginning goes, and if we starts going all right, then we'll start running for points and stick around there. Yeah.
What about Speed Weeks in the modified for you? Any plans to run that series or?
Yeah, this year I would like to run the full deal this year if things work out. Hopefully we'll do that.
That's a lot of work. I mean, you've done it before, and you're traveling up and down I-5, track to track over I think 7 days, 8 days, 7 races.
9.
Yeah, we did it. I've had the opportunity to do it one time. And it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, that's for sure, and definitely try not to wreck much because it's expensive during that week.
Well, and you get the best of the best from Oregon, Washington, California.
There's a lot of competition that week.
Absolutely, that's a tough deal. You have some experience with the modifieds and speed weeks as a former crew chief.
I do.
You can relate to what he's talking about.
That's one of those series that if you want to be competitive, you want to race it, you've got to have pretty much a spare everything except for a chassis.
Yeah.
I mean,
and even then, that doesn't. It's probably a good idea.
Even then, there are dealers that follow
the
that.
one week I did do it, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. I ended up blowing my motor, and so then I was done for the week because I didn't have a spare motor. So.
It's one of those when Matthew and I always talked about when I was crewing for him about going and running Speed Week, but we both sat there and said, if we were going to do it, we're going to do it right. We're going to sit there and we're going to have a spare motor sitting in the trailer. We're going to have a spare transmission, a spare rear end, 2 full sets of sheet metal. Because we talked to Buzz Mitchell earlier. You want to talk about a race where people are going to bang their doors off for the prize.
Yeah.
Modified Speed Week is it for the modifieds.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the big one. Making a chassis change this year in the modified.
Yeah. Hopefully that works out for us. I've been doing I was with X Factor race cars and Superior race cars the last few years, and this year I decided to just change it up and go with a pretty well-known car and just see how things go there.
Well, you bought a car that's got some history behind it. It saw some success last year with a different driver. Did you take notes on that? Did you get some setup sheets? Or?
Yeah, I seen how well that car handled, and so if it doesn't handle well, we'll know where the problem is this year.
I think you've got a little.
Definitely be a driver error.
Again, you're kind of familiar with that car, aren't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is that one of your hero cards?
No, that's Mike's.
That's actually my niece, but she's carrying somebody else's cards.
I thought maybe she wanted the driver to
You
sign
traitor.
She doesn't want anything to do with you, of course. She is focused on Uncle Curtis
She
right
is.
now.
She's a little cutie.
Dude,
That's right.
He's got his whole fan base sitting out in front of us. I think this is the biggest crowd we've had in front of the interview table all day.
So at Cottage Grove, that is a very, very unique racetrack. It's got short straightaways. The back is very round, very high bank track. You guys get that thing in there and you hold it to the floor because that banking allows you to. It's crazy watching races down there.
It's a fun track. It's definitely a fast track. I know there's a lot of people that like going to that track just because it is a competitive track and it's fast.
Well, it's got that red clay. It stays when it's tacky. That is a hooked up. That's a hooked up racetrack.
If there's traction in that track, you're pretty much wide open. There's always a cushion up around the top to stop you usually. So. And
that banking allows you to keep it down. What's the degrees of banking? Do you know?
I'm not real sure, but every year it seems like it gets more and more banking.
Well, I was going to say, the last time I was there, I think I saw 3 midgets skydiving off the banks.
It is damn near vertical.
I know.
It is bad.
It is a high bank track, and those guys get down there. They just hold it to the floor, and if you get that car in on entry, you're coming out hot.
Well, and it's like I've literally seen Curtis down there racing, when I'm crewing with, traveling with modifieds. And you've got all these out-of-towners that are creeping along the bottom, just rolling the bottom, and here comes all the locals. They've got it right up on the
middle
edge.
grooving up. And
they've got it right up on what I call the edge of death.
Yeah.
And they've just got it pinned to the floor, set the car, and they're just going and hauling the mail.
Well, even with those high banks, you've got to have your car dialed in to... If you're going to drive it in, you better have your car dialed in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing about Cottage Grove, and which freaks me out how you guys do it, I hate Turn 4. I hate watching races at Turn 4 because it's such a high bank track, but when you come out of Turn 4, that's where you roll on, and that levels off real quick, and that wall, it's right there. I've seen so many guys come off that high side and hit that wall, just straight to that wall.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few cars bounce off the wall and roll there.
Well, because that transition from the bank to where they roll on, it's just so... It can really upset the race car and take it out of your hands.
Oh yeah, definitely. It can make it a handful. That's for sure.
It is an exciting.
That's initiation fee right there.
No kidding. That is an exciting place to watch races, and they call it a quarter mile, but I think it might be a quarter mile. On the outside is a quarter mile, maybe.
Yeah, it's a fast quarter mile. That's for sure.
No kidding. So
I love watching racing down there. It's awesome.
Oh, it's a great place. You want to talk about action. It's a neat racetrack in its own right because the size allows guys to race hard, but they don't get away from each other real far typically. You always get a good pack of cars battling.
There's always usually 2 good lanes at least, one around the bottom, one around the top that are usually pretty equal, so it makes for some good racing.
Now, I haven't been down there it's been a couple years since I've been down there. Turn 1 has always kind of been another tricky spot because of the natural well that runs on it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's usually a big jump in Turn 1 usually.
He calls it a jump.
Which, again, you got to have your car right. You don't want to hit that spot. That's why he says.
We're talking about Cottage Grove, not Vegas.
Oh, man. Don't even get me going on that.
Don't go there.
Yeah, our car doesn't disappear at least.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sinkhole.
Any plans on doing the Duel in the Desert next year or some big shows?
We'll see how things go this year. And I've done that race one time. I think it was about 5 years ago, and that was a lot of fun. So if things go well this year, we would like to try to make that race this year.
Well, it looks like, taking a look at your car, you've got some great backing for the 2017 campaign with sponsorship. Let's kind of talk about who's doing what for you and how you approach those sponsors.
Yeah, it's a lot of work getting sponsors around here. That's for sure. I got to thank Frank Brewer with West End Performance. He's been helping me out a lot, and I actually am in the union of Local 280, and they help me out. I got BSB helping me out with some springs and shocks. Appreciate all his help, and Jake Waddell at Double R Powder Coating is powder coated my last year's car, and he powder coated the car I'm running this year. So all them sponsors definitely help out a lot.
Now, you just mentioned one thing every driver we've talked to has mentioned, and that is shocks. Shocks are so crucial in these race cars anymore. In the last 7-8 years, that's become the most important element of these race cars and getting the cars to work.
Yeah, definitely. Shocks have came a long ways the last few years, and there's been a lot of testing and stuff going on with those, and they're definitely not cheap, so people are spending a lot of money on shocks because they definitely help out a lot.
Well, and that's the thing we were talking about on the show even not too long ago was the shocks. The old days when you pulled the shock off and you had the threaded body on there, and you took all that stuff apart, you got the new shock, put it all back together, measured it out, put the spring back on, and put the car back on. Now you can kind of walk over, on the late models anyway, over, click, 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 and change it.
Yeah, things are
those
definitely...
shocks. An expensive shock back then was $200.
Right.
Now you're paying $600-700 for one
That's
shock.
for an O-ring and a new one.
Yeah, late model shocks are definitely expensive.
So with the BSBs on your modified, have you had a chance to run those yet?
Yeah, we've been running BSB stuff the last couple of years, and I've been real happy with them. Everything from him is high-quality parts, and everything works real good. So we got some different shocks this year, and so hopefully we have some good success with those.
So when you say you have different shocks, what's the major... I mean, what do you...
He does some like basic shocks, and he does a little more advanced shocks, and so I don't know what his secrets are or nothing, but I got a little bit better shocks.
Sounds to me like he's got a shock guy.
It sounds to me like Curtis isn't going to give up what's going on because he's got
all top secret stuff.
That's when it comes to shocks. Every driver's going to tell you that. It's awesome.
You know, secrecy follows that chassis for some reason.
Well, and that car has been surrounded in controversy. It's not true.
But. What are you talking about? Controversy with that car?
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But we know what you're talking about. So it's going to be. I hope to see it at Willamette this year. I'm not going to get a chance to get down to Cottage Grove. Unless we get a rain out down this way, we can fly down and watch you guys. But
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you.
We know we're going to get rained out, but hopefully they're not rained out at the same time.
I know, and their weather is usually worse than ours. But,
yeah.
So what are you looking for 2017? What are you expecting with the modifieds at Cottage Grove? Because, I mean, we've got a lot of guys coming to Lebanon with the modifieds. And, I mean, you guys have got a strong field down there for the modified division.
Yeah, Heather Boyce down at Cottage Grove's been doing a good job promoting that track. We've been getting a lot more modifieds lately. We get average 15 to 20 cars a race, which is pretty good. And I know there's a lot more B mod drivers going to be showing up this year, and a few more A mod drivers. So I think it'll be a pretty good class for B mods and A mods this year at Cottage Grove.
I think that's a growing class anywhere you go. You're just starting to see more modifieds. I mean, look at all the modifieds we saw in Vegas.
Oh my gosh! There's 400.
I can't remember the car count.
Look at all the modifieds we have here in the mall.
We have more modifieds here than any other class of car.
That's true. And this sport mod that we've got sitting in front of us is another division that's really starting to take off.
And that's pure eye candy sitting in front of us. That is just a
that's a good car. But that 24 car down there is.
Now, is this guy, you run against this guy?
No, this is a B mod.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a real nice car.
It's a pretty car. Definitely catches your eye, but there's no car here brighter than the 24.
Yeah.
That car you can see from the top of the grandstands. It's on the backstretch. I mean, that's as an announcer, that's what I love. I know who's where. I wish all the cars were like that.
And you sit there and you look at that car. It's essentially a 3-color car or 4-color car. You got a basic black, some grayscale, and they're a white. And then
nothing basic about it.
Fluorescent yellow.
Yeah, the contrast is incredible.
It just glows.
Who did your wrap?
It's beautiful.
That was Michael Lefevers. He's with Slicker Graphics out of Ohio.
And he did
well done.
He did a really good job on that.
Did you submit the design, or you just turn him loose?
I just tell him my colors, and he comes up with a design, and we kind of work together on it. And he does most of the design work, though, and then he sends it to me, and I put it on.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car, man.
Yeah,
awesome
job. Done. Very cool. So hopefully we'll see you up at Willamette this year. We're going to try to make it to Grove if we can. Maybe we'll get down there for an Iron Giant race or something, but it's going to be tough to do.
Do we have an Iron Giant race down there?
Yeah.
At the Grove. We do, don't we? Yeah. When's that?
I don't remember.
Are the modifieds going to be running at the same time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get a chance to see him then.
So,
no doubt.
Basically, setting your sights on the Grove title.
Yep, pretty much, and hopefully I make a couple trips to Willamette, though. At least during Speed Week, I should.
Well,
be
yeah,
there.
we want to see you up there. We got there's 2 or 3 nights in a row down there. There's a 3-night show.
Yeah, I think it's 3 nights.
Yeah, that's going to be a cool deal the way they're going to do it. And it's either going to be really, really good, or it's going to be have a lot of upset race cars.
Right.
Well, be all about survival.
Yes, it will. But